Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 129. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super grateful to have you on my channel. And as you always know, we are going to have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities do we have, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming week. How did this week look for me? Well, on Monday and Tuesday, I missed amazing opportunities. I'm going to show you why as well. Well, pretty much some of my rules were not met. And on the Tuesday's trade, I actually learned something new that I'm going to add to my trading plan. And it kind of increased my awareness. So always missed trades and losing trades are actually the best to learn from, because this is when you actually try to find out, okay, why didn't it work out? What can I change, or what can I do best later? Well, if you take a win, well, cool, my strategy worked. There is nothing much to refine. So always approach losses with this mindset. You have to learn something from them, right? Then on Wednesday, I took actually my first trade. It was a nice 1 to 5.6, but I also took some partials, so the overall return was a little bit less. Then on the same day, I took a loss, and then on Thursday, I took another loss. So pretty much finishing on profit, but nothing too huge, like, I don't know, around 2 to 3 R, which of course I'm very happy with because it's December. And as you can see on the weekly candle, we do not have a lot of moves, but pretty much like Wednesday was really nice. Then we had Thursday kind of chopping around a little bit. And then on Friday, we had the CPI released for the US dollar. And this caused a couple of whipsaws and some also amazing opportunities, but I did not touch the markets on Friday. All right. So pretty much this is going to be my last week of trading. This one that is incoming. So I'm also taking it easy. My risk is reduced to protect any drawdown during this slow period. And yeah, after this, I'm going to be focusing on reflection, reviewing the whole year, extracting everything that I learned, setting new goals, new targets, new achievement goals, and all of that great stuff. Because yeah, if you do not take 1 month to prepare for the next 12 months or 11 months, then you definitely don't know what you're doing. Okay, so spend a couple of time planning, reviewing, extract everything that you have learned so far this year, because I'm sure you have grown a lot and you're still might not be where you want to be, right? But it's a process, all right? And I'm sure that from the 1st of January up until now, you have improved a lot. So make sure to go there, dig deeper, and search for all of those improvement areas in all areas of life. Okay, so that's my little ramble right there. And of course, if you're new to this channel, it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I give my best to share an educational piece of content or trading setups breakdown video. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss those videos when they come out. And before we start, I want to mention that I also trade some cryptos, and I do it with Forex.com. It is a great broker that has a commission-free account, but if you choose their eco account, for every lot that you trade, and they're also stack up, so you're not supposed to just open one lot, they plant 10 trees. So I really think this is an amazing initiative, so make sure to check them out. Link will be down in the description. And if you already did, let's see what do we have for this week. All right, let's start with a Dixie. Let's have a look what this guy did this week. Well, pretty much as you can see on the weekly candle, the first piece of information that we can gather is that we're having an inside bar. So this weekly candle closed within the range of the previous week. So what we can immediately do is just drop 2 lines like this on the previous weekly candle, because this right now creates a range. And what we can always expect after such an inside bar is a breakout. Right, so it can appear in many forms. We can first of all take out the high and then reverse lower. We can of course first take out the low, reverse higher, but pretty much those 2 lines are liquidity points and specific targets that the market definitely is going to seek. Okay, to build up a little bit more narrative, we're coming from this supply area, so make sure that you have watched also my previous weekly outlook where I kind of developed a bigger monthly outlook as well. And currently, yes, we have been staying here for 3 weeks already, rejecting this zone. Overall, on the hard time frames, we are bullish. This is our range. This is our last push. This is our major structure. Right now, everything in between is minor. Okay, so the last area of a pullback on the weekly for me is this one. This kind of hard low, and this is potentially where I would love to start buying the dollar. But of course, we have a little area in between right here that we can mark. So let's drop all of those areas on the weekly and drop on the daily to see what is happening. So as you can see on the daily, we have this little indecision, which I actually spotted from the weekly. This is This comes with understanding of how all the different time frames move. But yeah, pretty much as you can see, guys, the last kind of, since the 1st of December, since the monthly open, we have been chopping around again inside this big range. So this whole candle was created during FOMC, and since then, nope, just a little bit up, a little bit down. So I'm definitely looking for a breakout this week. And again, as I told you, it can take numerous forms. So pretty much right now, as I told you last week, the buyers are still in control because we had this push, higher high, higher low, higher high, pull back for a higher low. And then after this, we should have, of course, pushed to create a new higher high, but we do not. So pretty much we have the first signs for a potential reversal to the downside, but still, if you just look at it, you cannot extract much information. The only thing that I can say is that we are at the higher end of the range. So pretty much I would love for the DXY to either tap 50% around this 95 handle, or of course pull back into the 94. Well, definitely we can see some buyers. Okay, so currently, guys, if you want me to be extremely honest, what is this market doing? All right, it's chopping around. So usually when we see this, I'm gonna skip the chart, but let's look at it a little bit on a deeper level to see, of course, what we can expect. Well, there you go. There is your range right here. This is, again, as I told you, we can expect a breakout of some of those ranges, and it can occur in many forms. We have tapped into this area right here on the left, and if you can see, like, the last demand was right there. So we created a higher high, higher low. We failed to make a new high, so this is where actually the shift occurs. There it is, the shift. Massive pump into the downside. So pretty much the shift appeared from here. Okay, is this level tapped? No, right? And just below this level, we have this inside bar. So a couple of things could happen. For me, one of the potential plays will be a tap inside this area and then a reversal targeting the lows, 50% of the daily, this daily level, and taking out this low. All right, so this is the first thing. And then, of course, the second one will be just to drop to the downside. And for a complete bullish scenario, I am not favoring it too much because I just see how the market is failing to push higher. And if we also examine something else, have a look at the momentum to the downside, slow momentum up, momentum downside, very, very, very choppy up. Massive push lower, choppy up, and right now we can actually start expecting the market already to start moving down, okay? Because if we actually really zoom in right now, and if we drop to the hour, this was a very strong level. The market kind of tried to tap, reacted, tried to tap again, and right now we also shifted the most recent structure right here. So again, if we drop to the hour, you can see that we were already bearish. Okay, so again, guys, from now, I don't really want to say this, but I am more favoring shorts on the dollar simply because the longs for me should have played so far. Like we tapped here, and then you can see that we started to build some bullish structure here, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then we started to invalidate right now, but we are still in this range, so be careful. This is a shorting area. If we come inside, as for a buying area, well, for me, the buying area is already down there. Okay, so let's see what kind of shorts can we play. The first scenario will be to have a complete manipulation above this high to tap into this supply. This would be a very nice short. The second one will be just to pull back into the most recent lower high, create a new lower high, and then to flush lower. Okay, so for that, make sure to stay tuned for my Tuesday analysis, where we're gonna have a deeper look at how Monday played out. And of course, guys, always keep at the back of your mind, it is December. We are ranging, the volume is dying up a little bit, so do not expect any great moves. Okay, but this is my forecast, more bearish on the DXY. Let's see if EU is actually going to support this. All right, let's have a detailed look at EU. I'm also going to share my trades and all the trades that I missed as well, so you can learn something from it. I didn't do a trading setups breakdown this week because I thought it's not going to be very valuable. So I'm just going to quickly cover the trades that I took and, of course, first of all, provide an analysis. So still, we are in this massive leg to the downside on the weekly. We had 2 weeks of massive push and then 3 weeks of choppiness right here. And pretty much the market is reacting from something on the left right here. But I pretty much think that this one should be taken out anytime soon. And then, for example, we should head into the lower regions right there of 1.11 towards 1.10. So this is where I really want to see the market also in terms of monthly perspective. But, okay. The question is, shall we first pull back to the upsides, either towards this kind of weekly range right here, or at least at 50% pullback, which we haven't done yet. So this is the biggest question. And of course, in the last time we also spotted this little guy. So let's drop to the daily to have a little bit of a better look. So here on the daily, it's not the best, but of course it's a potential level that we can react from. It's more like a drop-based drops, a form of supply and demand. And yeah, as you can see right here, it has been slightly bit tricky to figure out the higher time frame direction on EU, but in terms of intraday moves, we had a lot. So on the daily, you can see again, since the FOMC right there on the 30th of November, December has been, yeah, we had a little push down, massive candle up, inside bar, and yeah, pretty much we also have an inside bar where we pretty much took out the low, I think, on Friday. Yeah, well, let's not look that much into detail, but yeah, I think it's, yeah, we took it out. So we took it out. So liquidity has been taken. And yeah, so if we expect bearishness on the DXY, but first a move higher, then we can of course expect first a move lower on this one. But let's see if it's actually possible. On the daily, I cannot extract much, right? So pretty much we had this structure right there, lower high. This was a lower low. We broke the lower high, right? So we created a bullish market structure. Then we have this daily demand. The market tapped inside first time, tapped inside second time. And after the second time, and after taking out this low, which was pretty much a target for me for quite a while, but I actually missed the short, which is a pity. We had a massive expansion into the upside, and right now we're starting to pull back, which means that we could create a new a higher low below 50%. And yeah, so pretty much an immediate target will be this high. Second target will be that high right here. And then we can see if we can go above the 50%. So let's see if this is actually viable. So yeah, so pretty much for me this week, the first target was this low right there, which got achieved on I think it was actually Monday. And then on Tuesday we had another beautiful short that actually tapped the second target, which is this one, which was this low right here. And then we pretty much again tapped inside this big daily demand, but we also have this little 4-hourly zone. So as you can see, we tapped into this whole range right there, this one, and then we massively reversed into the highs. So what happened at that time is, if you carefully follow structure, this was our last lower high, right? So the market pushed inside, made a new lower low, we pull back, tried to create a lower high. Have a look how the market actually reacted. It tried to make a new lower high and actually took a sell from here. And then we very sharply impulsed into the highs, which created a new higher high. Beautiful, okay? And then of course, what we should expect is the market to pull back, and we pulled back. Okay, and I actually tried to take a long from somewhere right there and I lost it. And then on Friday, we of course had some massacre right there, big wicks. And what I like is that we also took out the low of this candle. And right now the market is already starting to initiate higher on the 4-hourly. So I am more or less bullish on EU right now. We have this range. Again, the market has pulled back into the 50%. It has also taken this low, which is nice to see. And then if I really zoom in, this at a time was a lower high, lower low, and right now we broke above it. So potentially where I will be looking to buy from is inside this whole region right there, these sort of wicks. And if we drop to the hour, yeah, it's a little bit hard. So we might have to drop to the 15-minute for this one. But yeah, what we did is we came to react from a shorting area. I wanted to take a short right here on Friday, but the market just ended up going down. Then during the news, we came inside, we tapped, we reacted, but we failed to break below higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So pretty much if we try to look deeper into it also, this one will be a nice buying area, but this whole area is a buying one. And if you want to drop a range as well from the low to the high, there is your 50%. So as soon as we start tapping inside this region, guys, I will potentially be looking for longs. And of course, this can definitely happen on Monday. So stay tuned for this setup. Again, this means that the DXY will not manipulate above this high right there and come inside this. And pretty much as the DXY has already reversed, we're going to be expecting this scenario. So not a big move into the highs, but just a lower high and a continuation lower. But of course, what could happen is if the DXY strikes for the other level, then we can have a deeper pullback on the EU. And then from there, we can have a reversal as well. But my overall outlook is bullish. Okay, and this is my analysis. I can see that already the buyers are starting to step in. We're having a massive impulse. The market has already pulled back. It has taken liquidity. And I do think we're ready to start targeting these highs and potentially try to finish this week above 50% of the daily move. Okay, so hopefully, guys, you build up the entire picture once again, and you are aware of what I'm looking for. So right now I want to show you a couple of setups. So on Monday we had a beautiful short right there. Let me delete some of those things to keep it clear. So yeah, pretty much on Monday I was looking for shorts. I'm not gonna go into great details regarding it, but for me, like, we were bearish right there, but then we turned a little bit bullish. So we shifted the structure right here with this kind of flip, which is also slightly different, because for me, this one, trying to separate kind of a change from supply to demand with a regular break of structure. Okay, and this one is really important for me on the 15-minute, and I teach all of this also in my private program. It's part of, like, also there is a lot of confusion when it comes to minor and major structure, and this is actually how you can trade within all time frames. Okay, so for me, I am bearish. I know where my higher time frame structure is going, but in order for me to take a trade, I need that confirmation on the minor time frames. So I got it right here. I got my level right there, and I jumped on the 1 minute to start looking for my entries. But yeah, so first of all, again, we came inside in a very aggressive manner, and I was looking for the market to do the same thing, to shift, to show me that the bears are in control. But yeah, then we massively dumped into the lows, and I had a limit set right here. Okay, but guess what? The market never came back, and like, this was like around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then it took the market such a long time. It kept going down, so I removed my limit, and I said, okay, cool. Well, yeah, it's Monday, so I'm not gonna be looking for that many trades. And then guess what, guys? The market came inside and tapped my limits to perfection right here. And yeah, I was doubting, okay, so should I let it run? And this was a good lesson that I learned this week as well. Like, if you have a level like this, then just trust it and let it stay. Like, if you really think the market is going to reverse from here, well, don't remove your limit or look to strike again from here. So pretty much we came in right there, but I did not take the trade. And then of course, if you also looked for potential scale ins, there they are. The market taps in right here, reacts from this sell to buy, which is also a kind of demand level. We gave a reaction, we broke structure lower. There is your first trade with a 3-pip stop loss. Continuation lower to really fulfill that bearish sentiment. Then we pulled back again into the last lower high, which is this bullish candle. This is our last lower high. Another trade with a 3-pip stop loss, and the first target, remember, was this low. There it is, achieved to the pip. And yeah, pretty much this was a huge 14-hour, 9-hour, 8-hour. So that would have been a huge Monday. But unfortunately, I was looking to trade inside this region right here. And then as the market started to actually develop the moves, I was under the charts and I wasn't trading. So this is again a focus problem of mine, which I have improved a lot over the past few weeks. But of course, sometimes I just, of course, cannot be at the charts. Then on Tuesday, again, another very nice, man, I'm so pissed about this trade, but it is what it is. I just missed it and it didn't tick all of my rules. So pretty much, again, this is where we sold on Monday. What this creates is another supply area. So this is where the orders were launched. It also broke structure, and in between we had a lot of minor structure. That is pretty much liquidity, Asian range, manipulated, massive drop. So this is your absolutely textbook setup, but it has a lot more details into it. So pretty much it looks like this, like having a downtrend, a huge sell-off, consolidation in the middle, building up liquidity, tap and go. All right, so this is the usual setup. But yeah, I have this big area. So as soon as the market came in, I started to look for shorts. At first we came inside and we gave a couple of shorts right here. But this was way too early in the morning, 7:30. I'm not even at the charts at that time. But this was just to trick early sellers. And then we came in with massive momentum and we created this beautiful reaction. Broke the last higher low and broke the major 15-minute higher low. So this for me was an absolutely textbook setup. We reacted from demand on the left, which is perfect. There were a couple of people that took a long from here, but for me that was wrong because we are overall bearish. What I had again is slightly bit unlucky. I had a limit set. I'm gonna tell you what my limit was. I used the 25% of the ranges and my limit was right here. So I went a little bit too greedy on this one because I did not set my limit exactly on this one because I think the stop loss was like 4 pips, but I wanted to have a 3-pip stop, which is where I found a new area. So at the past I used to do like 5 to 10 pip stop losses, and right now I'm getting crazy with this 1 minute time frame, trying to catch it very tight. So I could have just entered right there with a kind of a 5 pip stop loss, 4.5, and just be in the trade. But this one, my limit got missed, okay? And then I was kind of looking for a shift of structure, but I did not consider this wick, which is a new kind of thing that I realized this week. So again, I also dropped on the seconds later, which I'm not gonna do. This was a push, a pullback, higher low. This was a higher high, and this was a shift of structure, which broke this one, pullback, lower high, and a flush. But at that moment, for me, how did I consider it? Is as a whole push, a whole pullback, to potentially then create a new higher high. And I was like, okay, well, I missed it from here. I don't want to get it lower right there because we can, yeah, still reverse higher. And yeah, but still, I did not at all consider this wick. And we also developed a great case study with the team later in the community. And we definitely, all of us learned from it. But this was then the trade that should have been taken because it was very clear. And I, of course, started to look for trades after this candle right there. So I was ready to strike from here, but the market just went. All right. And the first low, that was yesterday's low, was immediately taken for, I think, for a 7R. Yeah, 7R. And then, of course, that big wick, which is this one, which is actually the target for the whole week, was fulfilled on Tuesday for a massive trade as well around, yeah, 16R. And if you remember from Monday, we also had some great moves. So, yeah. First 2 days of the weeks, massive, but unfortunately for me, I did not nail any of those trades, but yeah, it's perfectly fine. Let's see what happens on Wednesday. So I continue with the selling bias. For me, the market is bearish and we took out this low, so potentially we can even target these lows. But of course, it looks like that demand came in control. And the only thing that I was worried on this day was that we had a very strong move higher and a lower and a very strong move higher. So usually what you want to see is a strong move down and corrective price higher. And if you see something like this, that means that a lot of buyers are starting to step in. And we definitely had this on this day. But pretty much the same setup, guys. Like if you're watching my weekly outlooks and trading setups, you definitely know how I trade. But there is a lot that goes behind it, I promise. And we teach this in the program. But yeah, pretty much Asian range, manipulated. We start to see the shift and we drop on the 1 minute right here. So let's see where I took my first trade. On this one, again, slightly bit unlucky and slightly bit, yeah, I would say. So at first I had the limit right here with, again, a very nice stop loss of 2.5 pips. Again, getting a little bit too greedy with those stop losses, which is something that I've been realizing and I'm just sharing it with you honestly and openly. There I had a limit right here. The market came, it failed to tap me. Had I taken it with 3 pips, cool. But your guy wants 2.5, right? Then what I see is the market continues to break structure lower, formed a little bit of liquidity, and I took this range and I executed my first trade from the week from here in the middle. And this time I kept an open stop loss above and I said, man, stop it. Just take your trade and forget about it. And again, I was thinking to still enter from here, but it didn't make too much sense because I was already running full risk on this trade. So taking another trade from here didn't make sense. And then again, you can see that we had a massive dump lower, broke structure. There is your second trade, a massive dump lower again, broke structure. There is your third trade. So this was tons of re-entry opportunities, but I was already with 2 missed trades from Monday and Tuesday. And missed trade from right here, I was slightly bit emotional, to be super honest with you. And yeah, well, pretty much this was my trade for this week, which was 5.6 R&R. So what? Maybe I had a lower stop loss, or I'm not really sure. But yeah, so what I did on this one is pretty much I took 50% partials because my TP, I was aware of the bullish momentum and my overall TP level was at the Asian low and at this kind of sell to buy as well. 50% I took at the open of it, and then as I saw the market break below the Asian low, I took a very big majority of my position, and then pretty much 10% of it got stopped out at break even. Okay, and then pretty much I tried to follow this development. I saw that the market tapped into a higher level, which is this wick. We again showed a break of structure, right? And what I did is I went on the 1 minute again and I tried to take a trade, but this time it was not as perfect because yeah, the market kind of created this range. It went into the high to manipulate once more. We saw the break of structure, but there was nothing in the middle to potentially support lower prices. There was not like a little consolidation, tap and go. It was just a push, pullback, and yeah, I took the trade from here, by the way, guys, and yeah, this was a quick stop loss, but still finishing with profit on this one. And yeah, this is my Wednesday, my first trading day for the week, and yeah, I was absolutely perfectly fine with the missed trades, but slightly bit kind of, Yeah, because if I only took one of those trades from the past day, I would have called it a year, right? Because those were huge. So yeah, I kind of felt a little bit forced to continue trading. But then what we had on Thursday, just to very briefly break it down, we had a new push into the highs, we had a new pullback. So my first area to strike was this hourly zone right here. So as soon as we tapped inside, I dropped to the lower time frame, and this trade was taken during New York as well. During London, we built up all of this mess right there, all of this liquidity. We drop lower, we pull back, we drop lower again. So the biggest mistake on this one is that the market actually never shifted. So we were coming from supply right here, right? You see supply, respected, lower low. But then of course I started spotting the longs right here, and yeah, we had this big break of structure. We pulled back, and I literally nailed this at the wick right there. Stop loss was 2.5 pips. Pushed into the highs. I set my partial at the high, and then another thing that I realized, which was a great lesson for me this week, is if you see the market fail to break your level on 2 occasions, just go break even. And yeah, because we first pushed higher, we reacted from supply on the left, right, which gave us the entry. Cool. The market pushed into the highs, failed to take out supply. Cool. We went lower to grab more orders. I'm still in the trade, so we grabbed the orders. We tried to push higher, and at this moment we should have broken. Okay, but we still respect it. The market is going down, and yeah, then we pull back, and I closed my trade somewhere right there in the middle or something down there. I don't really remember. And yeah, this was another loss, which was not a full loss, but yeah. And then the market ended up going down. So this was more like a, yeah, it was a continuation trade, but the actual level that we should have traded from is this one. And later we had some longs. The market failed to follow through, and yeah, then we had all of this mess later on Friday. Okay, so hopefully guys, this was a brief breakdown of all the trades that I took. Hopefully you got value from it and you learned something from my mistakes and my lessons as well. And yeah, let's carry on right now. Let's have a look at EJ. So weekly time frame, again, this pair is slightly bit tricky. We had a push down, then we had a pull back, which looked like a lot of bullish introduction right there, but then we had a break lower, and we already took out these lows. So currently, are we reacting from something on the left? Well, personally, I do not see it. Pretty much, yeah, we're reacting from possibly this kind of supportive level right here. This week, we took out the high of the last week. We had a very nice push into the highs, but nothing much to extract. Like, is it a pullback, right? I think so. On the daily, it looks slightly clearer. Like on the daily right here, we have this move down, then we have this pullback right here that tapped into a level on the left. We had a very bullish candle right there. Then immediately it was with the inside bar, but in a very bearish manner. And we took out the low on Friday. So man, this price action is very tricky. And yeah, then if you guys, you can see that actually if you drop on the hour, on the 4 hourly, what is this market doing? It's ranging. Okay, and we're still trading within this daily range. For me, the level right here is what actually broke structure. Well, yeah, it's this kind of range right here, which we haven't tapped, but we had a massive pump into the highs, but then immediately massive pump into the lows. Manipulation. So guys, I'm just gonna tell you from now, I do not understand this pair. So I am more bearish on it, right? But still we're sitting a little bit lower on the overall picture. We have pushed down for quite some time. We have taken these lows. We're possibly tapping into something on the left as well. So some bullishness is potentially expected, but we just don't have it yet. The daily is still bearish. We're still trading within this range. We have a little bit of kind of bullish introduction, because if we have a look at it, we had a break here, which made this a lower high. Then this lower high was broken. Then the market pulled back, tapped into demand, made a new higher high. So then this became our new range from the low to the high. The market right now pulled back and is tapping into something right here. So pretty much, yeah, we can see that we can always try to force something on the chart. Like we started with a range, and right now we can see that we're bullish. But for me, this pair is slightly bit tricky. So if you ask me though, I am more on the bullish side of things. So yeah, how you can play it is maybe a retest of the wick, higher low, continuation higher, or wait maybe for a confirmed higher high, a break of this daily supply, and then a pullback, and then a continuation higher. So those are going to be my two options. So let's see how it's going to play out. Let's analyze the Aussies, starting from AU. So finally, we are having a pullback week. We're having a very nice bullish engulfing candle actually. And yeah, let's just keep our weekly range because we're overall bearish on the weekly. And to my surprise, we actually failed to break below this level, which makes it even more stronger later as we're gonna smash through it. Okay, because this is pretty much building up liquidity right now. A lot of people are long, they have their stop losses right there. People are long from here, possibly had their stop loss lower, and they weren't stopped out, which is very nice. But I do think that overall we are gonna continue into the downside soon. Yeah, massive lower leg right there, which is creating some sort of like a minor structure in between. So again, little tip, immediate tip, I'm gonna make a video on this one. You can see that on the weekly we have a straight push lower, but within the daily and the 4-hourly you have all of this. So this is pretty much pro trend, continuation trend, minor structure. And right now, as we have a push higher, this is gonna be minor structure pullback. Okay, but I'm gonna cover this in another video. On the daily, nothing much to extract. Like first areas on the daily that we can short from are those two bullish candles, which is pretty much bases that the market actually exited outside of later. Early in the week, we had this supply which got smashed, right? So we actually broke above it. And then it was a little bit too hard to actually see, okay, where can we potentially take a trade from? Okay, so that's why we had to drop to the hour. And I remember my analysis for the team this week, it was actually this level right here. So the market was staying up there in the morning. You can see 8 o'clock on the 9th of December. And I said, okay, cool guys, well, let's wait for this zone to tap. Then we can target longs and target a new high. Well, it didn't play out perfectly, but I do think we're actually going to do this in the beginning of next week. And yeah, we pretty much, if you also have a look on the hour, we had a fake right there. The fake was immediately followed by a break, a pullback. So you definitely could have taken a long from right there. So go and explore on your charts how you could have taken a long from right here, because later also you can see that always the hard time frame narrative is going to be supported by the news. So the news are always going to give you the profit if you know how to do technical analysis, if you know actually where the market is and where it is potentially going. Okay, so for us, we were long from the down there, and currently our targets are at the highs. So how can you play this? Well, we can have a little pullback right there, higher low, and then target the highs. But yeah, I pretty much think AU can continue going up. DXY is looking down, EU is up, and all of those pairs are starting to look a little bit more bullish. So I do think in December, we can pretty much have this weekly pullback on AU. So yeah, targeting 50% on the daily. Again, the question is how to get in. Well, for me, a pullback right now is viable, and you can use a lower time frames like the 15 minutes. So the 15-minute leg started from here. So this could be a potential area that you can look at on Monday, but also it can of course drop a little bit further because Monday is usually tricky. We might go for another leg lower to manipulate before continuing higher. Or of course, what could happen is the market can just smash through above, and then we have to adapt and build a new story. So make sure to stay tuned for my Tuesday Telegram analysis, and the link is down in the description as well. AJ, kind of the same story, initiating this pullback. This one actually broke below this low right there, I think, or it didn't. Let me check. Yeah, it broke by very little, but it broke, initiating this pullback right now. If we take our range from the high to the low, there is 50%. Daily time frame, there is the first range to potentially sell from right there. Currently on this pullback stage, let's see how we can counter trend trade. We have definitely broken above the last lower high. Well, the last lower high was actually here, but we have right now broken into an even major one, right? How to get in? This one was actually a little bit clearer because we had some bearish candles, which signified the pullback. We tapped inside beautifully, and then if you drop on the hour, again, you had the shift on the hour right there. Same story as AU, same story. Pullback, longs, and yeah, right now it is reacting from this supply right here, and the only question is, are the longs going to prevail? Are the buyers going to prevail? Because if they do, this one is going to get smashed. Okay, so and this pretty much right now is turning into flat highs. So how can you get in? Same story. You have to drop to lower time frame, and you have to see where potentially the market can pull back into. For me, any pullback into the lows right there will be a nice buying opportunity. This one took liquidity, and the liquidity grab usually does not get liquidity grabbed, right? This is a little rule that you can have. So possibly somewhere around this area we can look for longs, and if you want to refine it, this one will be a potential 15-minute area. So this is how I'm going to be looking at the Aussies, potential long trades, and targeting this whole 50% on the daily. So let's see if we can have this in the last week of December. I'm excited to see. Let's have a brief look at the NZDs, which are not pairs that I really like right now, but yeah, and they're pretty much move slow. So as you can see, if we compare them to the Aussies, the Aussies had a much stronger week, while this one is, yeah, very, very little. Nothing too much to extract from the weekly. Of course, we can still drop our range. We can still expect our pullback. There's our first range above 50%. This is where we can potentially expect some sells. Right now, the thing on this one is, it's actually still a little bit bearish. If you have a look at the last lower high, the last kind of, yeah, you can count it as major. Well, yeah, again, time frames. The major lower high is this one on the weekly, but the major is right here on the daily, and the 4-hourly is gonna be this one, right? So you have to learn how to work within those time frames. But currently, still the daily is trying to shift. But as you can see, the 4-hourly is already trying to do something, but guys, this structure is absolutely unclear. Okay, so we had like a little range, boom, 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 madness, madness, push down a little bit, very slow, bullish, bearish, no. So this market did not move at all. Like this is, yeah, 100 pips for 2 weeks already, right? So I don't know what to expect, but yeah. So pretty much, guys, on this one, I'm looking for something more. I am not even confident to say that this one is looking like longs. Yeah, because this big wick was a nice supply. It kind of got broken, but then I struggled to find actually where is the higher low. It looks like this one. So far, it looks like it's being respected, but at the same time, it's not. It kind of broke. Guys, on this one, if you want to trade the NZDs, we need something clear. Okay, let's not try to overcomplicate it. For longs, I would need to see a strong impulse outside to really break some of those structures, a nice pullback, and then potentially continuation higher. So this is what I'm going to be looking for. And of course, if we fail to hold from these sort of levels, if we drop into the lows, then definitely I'm just scratching this pair. Okay. But yeah, if we have a look at the Aussies, usually the NZDs are going to follow. So definitely expecting more bullishness on those. But yeah, NJ, same story. Massive dump lower on the daily. Yeah, look at that. So we have this big wick, and pretty much the whole lower high is contained inside this big wick. And then if we drop to the hour, to the 4-hour, yeah, we had a range, push lower. It looks like it's breaking, but still it's not. Yeah, man, this is so hard. And yeah, we still have this level. So again, to keep it even simpler than that, for longs, I want to see a break of this one, and even preferably that one, because if this one breaks, then we have tons of space to long it towards the first area of supply. Okay, so let's wait for a break, retest, break, retest, and then we can just continue to go higher. Okay, so this is my outlook on the NZDs. Nothing too much, guys, but yeah, kind of looking for more momentum from those pairs to confirm some bullish sentiment, and only then, if I were trading them, only then I'm gonna strike, not right now. Let's see what's going on with UJ. So we're having an overall kind of a pullback week, and did we break above this candle? Not really. I think they're perfectly equal, but yeah, an overall inside bar. Therefore, yeah, you can see on the daily that we did not actually break it at all. So I do expect that this one is gonna break, but then where are we gonna sell from? Okay, this is the question. So let's try to find out. But yeah, on the 4-hourly, what you can see, guys, is that the market has failed to break the lows and it has failed to break the highs. What is this? Consolidation, right? So just keep it super simple. This market is consolidating right now. So is it a high probability? No. Immediately no. Because that means the market is stacking for a potential move, okay? But then if we try to find out, okay, we want to sell, where can we sell from? Well, we need to see some clear sell intention, some sell bias, okay? Do we have it? No. Like, yeah, we had a big push lower, pullback, lower high, then the market fails to break. The market pushes again, fails to break. A massive introduction of buyers actually right here, but we're just trading within the range. Okay, and it actually, if you ask me, it looks a little bit more bullish than bearish, because we failed to break the low right here. We introduced a lot of buyers right there, which pretty much broke structure right here. And yeah, currently we're at the higher end of the range. I can mark this level, which we're currently tapping. So I would even expect buyers on UJ, which doesn't make no sense at all. Okay. But yeah, trying to find a potential area to sell, you can use the hour. So something above this zone. We have this bullish candle. We have this little pullback right here. So those could be potential selling areas. But yeah, for me, UJ is not very clear at all. And again, guys, December, I keep reminding you, it's December. The market is slow. The volume is low. And Christmas is coming. So don't expect too much. But yeah, overall, just my brief analysis on this one is that the market is consolidating. The current sentiment is slightly bit bullish. So for me, in order to take a short, I would need to either see the market manipulate higher to tap into some of those zones right there and to really show me a clear shift of structure before I strike, or to have a strong push higher, to break some sort of levels, pull back, lower high, and a continuation lower. As simple as that. Right now, you have to play the patience game because there is nothing too much to strike on, so you got to be patient and wait, of course, for something to come up. You're not supposed to be trading every day and every week, and the market is not supposed to provide you with opportunities every day and every week. Okay, so learn to wait. There is nothing too much to strike on UJ right now for me. Let's have a look at the GBPs, starting from GU. So as you can see, this pair was actually pretty slow this week, and yeah, we ended up pushing to the downside and then having a lot of bullish momentum coming in. So yeah, again, the last level that I see of weekly supply is this one that we can potentially target. Dropping onto the daily, yes, this is also the last daily lower high. But yeah, have a look at the push lower. It's pretty sloppy, right? You can see how clear it used to be, like in the volatile months, right? There are nice clear moves. And right now, you can see December ticked in, choppiness, all right? So this is pretty much expected, but yeah, so you can see that if you zoom in, of course, the market is creating a bearish structure, and we have it like first lower low, lower high right there, push, break on the hour, lower high, push, another break, lower high right there, another break, lower high right there, another break, lower high. So pretty much is moving down, and just the last sign of bullishness was on Friday during the CPI. So yeah, can we start looking for longs on GU as well, pairing it with the longs on EU? Well, I do think so, because we also have the first signs of the market failing to make a new lower low. If this was the last lower high, the market responded from it, but then it failed to break, and we right now have a shift. And if I drop to the hour, we can of course try to find the level. So there is the last lower high. You can see that the market reacted from it, but then we massively expanded into the highs. So pretty much what you have to do right now is find the level to strike from. And yeah, which for me will be this 15-minute zone. You can take the whole hourly level, but if we have a look at where is the last range, well, it starts from here, it ends right there. There is your 50%. So there is your potential opportunity on GU. All right, very simply broken down, just following what only the most recent price action is doing. We were creating beautiful lower highs right here. You can see it very clearly on the hour. First lower high, second, third with this week, fourth right there, which failed to follow through, but then we came in again, then we followed through here, here, here as well, and right now we failed. Okay, so this, according to me, is definitely showing me that some buyers are entering. So let's see, guys, let's see. This is the first higher high. Let's wait for a pullback. Let's try to long it, and of course you can wait for a confirmation first. You can wait for a new confirmed higher high, another pullback, and yeah, then potentially if you really try to drop on the day, this is going to be our range. So we still have space to travel towards the 50%, but I don't think the market is going to react from something from right here, because everything has been reacted to, and pretty much I do think the market is going to take all of those all of those flat highs like this and eventually come inside something that hasn't been tapped yet, which could be this potential supply. So my expectation on GU is bullish, so let's see if it's going to play out. GJ, inside bar, first thing that I can see, therefore we can expect a break of two levels, this one and that one. Potentially this is our, again, weekly supply that the market can travel towards. On the daily, it's just chopping around just like UJ, right? So there is not a lot of volume. Let's have a look at the full hour. Again, the market was moving down. The most recent price action, the last lower high was this one. It was broken, okay? After the break, you start looking for the last higher low, which the last low that actually broke the high. So this one is the major high, low, sorry. This one is the major high that broke the last lower high. Okay, so hopefully you understand, and this also causes the change of the trend. Pullback into the structure, beautiful reaction, came in again, and right now we're just ranging. Okay, so yeah, as long as the market remains above this high, oh man, what is happening with highs and lows? As long as the market remains above this low, all right, so we pretty much are trading with this within this full hourly range, I am going to remain bullish along with GU as well, and potentially we can target this high right here. The delivery is not very clear, because if you drop on the hour, what we're having again, guys, is messy consolidative price. So again, how can you trade this one? Where you can long it from? Well, for me, a pullback again into the lows could be a potential long opportunity. But yeah, a second one will be just a continuation higher to really fulfill a new high. Then you're going to look at, okay, what broke the high, so that you're going to know where is your higher low. Then you trade from it, and then we potentially target this whole weekly zone and this inside bar, which is this high right here. So yeah, pretty much I find it really hard to analyze those choppy pairs like the NZDs, UJ, and the GJ as well. So yeah, but overall, I am having this slightly inclining towards longs. And the only reason is that we broke this last lower high, which was very major because it made a beautiful lower low, right? So we had a pullback right here. You can see that we tried to react. This bearish wick tried to react, but then it failed, which means that the buyers took control. So I am favoring more longs on GJ. So let's see if my forecast is going to be correct. GA, as you know, guys, my favorite pair. Let's see what happens on this one. Well, it looks like we responded from this supply right now. And we have a massive bearish engulfing candle. And yeah, this is mainly because AU also had a massive bullish candle, and this one immediately follows with a bearish one. And of course, it broke below the last daily higher low, which we have a look. It was also a 4-hourly one. So there it is. We broke. But yeah, I personally just don't trade this pair at all. I don't understand it. So excuse me, guys, but yeah, I just don't know what's happening on this one. I think it's more fundamentally driven as well, really closely related to AU, because it has some great swings, but it has areas where it just doesn't know what to do. Okay, and then it just goes without any confirmation. Like we just tapped into this area, and this week we opened 6th of December and we just flushed. All right, so how do you get in? Well, possibly you have to just enter on the 15 minutes, which is always going to provide some opportunities, but you can see that it just dropped. Okay, so right now, even for me, it's hard to identify. Well, yeah, okay, so the market started this move from here. It ended there. Currently, we are at the lower portion of the range, but have we shifted any 4-hourly structure? No. Right? It's just a push, a pullback, and yeah, ranging at the lows. So yeah, we can sell from this candle that I see. It's kind of the last base before another drop. It's below the 50%. Right now, some of you can say we have a push, a pullback. The market is failing to make a new low. Yeah, this could be the case. But this one did not cause anything, so this one is invalid, right? Yeah, you can see on the hour that it caused something, so you can look for some longs, but for me this is invalid, and for me this market is still bearish and it's not ready yet for a pullback. So let's see. I don't have a great analysis on this one, guys, but yeah, potentially I'm going to be looking for something like this. If you want, and if you have confidence in it, you can wait for a little pullback, higher low, and then take it into the highs and at least target this zone right here. Don't go too far. But yes, this really depends on AU and how AU is gonna go. The next kind of demand that I see is this one, which we can of course reach on the weekly. Yeah, it looked like a nice push. Right now, strongly reacted from supply. I just don't know what to expect on this one, so I let it go once again. And as I always say, guys, if something doesn't make sense, let it go and wait for something clear. Okay, I think my analysis from last week on Euro GBP played out. I think we were looking at this last higher low, which got respected, and we opened up right here on the 6th, 7th, massive impulse into the highs, which means that the euro is getting stronger. Okay, we broke above this high by very little, and we already initiated the pullback, and I can also see that we have a new daily demand, which is very nice, and a new kind of leg. So we have from the low to the high, there is 50%. We're already tapping inside. So just keeping it super simple on this one. We are already into a buying area. So for me, any shift towards the upside will be nice. Okay, so either tap inside here, then a shift will be nice, or maybe a shift from here, it will also be nice. So this is how I'm going to be looking at the Euro GBP. Currently, the last lower high is this one. So again, as I showed you, if we have a break above this wick, then I'm gonna look for longs. If we continue lower, then I'm gonna wait for the same, a lower high that is broken and a continuation higher. Okay. So this is my outlook on the GBPs, slightly looking for longs on GU, which is looking the best. GJ is showing some longs. GA, I have no idea what to do with this one. And Euro GBP is showing us some bullishness, which means that the Euro is getting stronger, which boosts the opportunity to go long on EU as well. So let's see how all of those are gonna play out. Do we have any new developments on gold? Not really. All right, it's still analysis. Make sure to check out my last weekly outlook, because again, the analysis still remains perfectly the same. We're having this overall bearish flow. All right, the market is really failing to break above these highs. And as I told you, like the last kind of demand was this one on the daily, and the market tries to push higher, fails, tries again, fails. And pretty much since here to here, since 16 days, so for 2 weeks, we have been ranging inside this range. Without any sort of development. So I have nothing new to say on gold. And again, as I always said, guys, I keep repeating it, it's December, so don't expect a lot. And when you see a clear consolidative market, step away and wait for something clear to happen. Okay. So yeah, we can zoom in and we can try to see what is happening, but analyzing structure like this in a big range is not nice, because you can zoom in and you can say, oh, right, so let's see the market higher high, higher low, higher high. Then this was the last higher low, it was broken. So we're bearish. So I'm going to take a short from here and then we get stopped out, right? The market is just ranging right now. So there is nothing clear and nothing nice for me personally. So I'm sticking to the hard time frames and I'm waiting for something clear, right? A nice break potentially below this one, and a retest could be nice. A nice break above, a retest, and then driving into this high could also be nice. But currently we have nothing. So let's give it some time. And again, share with me, guys, your feedback on gold. The indices actually played out as expected. Look at that beautiful bullish candle on US30. So pretty much the uncertainty and the worries around the new virus are going out, and we're seeing some optimism. And usually data shows that December is also an amazing month. So my stock portfolio hasn't been as green as before, right? Pretty much everything hitting all-time highs, and I think we still have a lot of potential. So what I told you on US30 is that we were sitting at this zone and the last low was this one. So if this low broke, then we could have had a crash, but this low held. And the last levels on the 4-hourly were those two ones. And as you can see, we just opened and we smashed through them both. Okay. So pretty much this for me means that we have reversed and this level still stays the same. And if the market potentially pullbacks into this area, we can have a nice long. So nothing too much to add to this analysis. I usually trade it like this with a pullback, but we had a beautiful kind of correction of around 7%. So if you didn't buy stocks, guys, already, it is a bit too late, all right? And right now we're pumping into the highs. Potentially, let's see if we can have a new all-time high for the end of the year. And yeah, a lot of other kind of speeches and stuff are going on, because with the tapering as well, there's not going to be as much as stimulus as there was in 2021. So the stocks are going to grow at a lower rate, because yeah, you look at that. This is usually not normal. They usually, like if you drop right there, it's a normal kind of trend right here. You can see that from the low right there to the high, this is 27% for 100 days. While this year, like, yeah, since May to here, we moved like 21%. Yeah, well, pretty much the same. So the stock market performs the same. But yeah, you can see right here, the last like 50 days, for half the time we made the same return that the market makes for 100 days. So yeah, we had some exceptional markets on the stocks, but I do believe that it's gonna get a little bit slower in the upcoming year. So let's see, of course. But Nasdaq has showed us some bullish momentum right here. It responded from the 50% perfectly, all right? And right now we have changed the structure. So for me, anything from here, maybe I'm gonna take a daily level. Yeah, there is my daily level. So any pullback inside this zone for me will be a potential longing opportunity. So let's see if this one is gonna happen. And S&P, my biggest baby, I am not sure where I bought it from. Yeah, I think I actually bought it a little bit too high this time. I think from here. So we had another crash. Well, maybe I bought it from there. I don't really remember. Again, 50% beautifully fulfilled. Last supply actually held. We had a little fake. Tried to tap, broke structure above. Okay, so pretty much this signifies that the trend is changing for now. And my new level for potential buying is this one. So pretty much what I'm actually gonna do is set an alert on this one because I'm actively buying and investing in this one. So if it actually pulls back inside this area, this will be a nice buying area, right? Also right here on the flower. So let's see, looking bullish across the indices. It looks like we're gonna have an all-time high, maybe even into the beginning of next week. So let's see how this one is gonna go. In terms of crypto, not a big development this week. So after the massive crash right here, we're still kind of indecisive, and I'm still looking for a deeper pullback into this area again to potentially buy a little bit. I also started staking crypto, which is amazing. Like every single week, I get a very big return from my holdings. I'm just testing it out right now with $10,000 kind of dollars invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. But yeah, man, this is like dividends on crypto. Again, it's not backed up by a real company, which is the only thing that I do not like very much. But it keeps sending me new cryptos every single week. So this is amazing. So let me know, guys, if you're actually staking crypto and if you have any experience, any kind of platforms that you can share with me, let me know. But personally on Bitcoin, I'm looking for another run into the lows right there around 40K. So I'm going to be buying if we come inside this sort of area. Not a lot, just staking, dollar cost averaging as well. But if you close below a 39,600, you can see how round this candle is. Then of course, I think we're definitely headed lower towards the 32. And yeah, then the next, of course, the next demand is this one that we can potentially buy again from, okay? And Ethereum also looking very good, but not a big development. So again, still for me, I have two areas for buy. I'm gonna buy a little bit at 37 if we come in again. So I missed this buy right there. So if we have another pullback, that will be nice to buy a little bit. And then potentially the next buy will be down there. Okay, so let's see how this one is gonna go. And if you break below 26, then of course this is gonna open up the lower level, which in our case is this one. But yeah, let's see. I don't really expect this one to happen, so let's see. All right, so this is it, guys. Everything looks bullish. The indices are doing amazing. Forex might get a little bit slower, but in December we usually get a lot of action, Christmas presents and all of that stuff. So the stock market is definitely active. You can look to trade some indices as well. Cryptos are looking good, but of course Euro USD and all the other pairs are looking great. So I really hope you enjoyed this analysis, guys. Let me know if you did. Like the video, subscribe, and also leave a comment below. Don't forget about the giveaway initiative that I have. It's kind of in the center of my channel. I think I placed it at the first thing, so you can have a look at it. And yeah, if you're watching this over the weekend, I wish you an amazing and relaxing weekend and a crushing week ahead of you. And don't forget that it's December, Christmas is approaching, the market is dying up, and don't forget to take a little break and reward yourself for all the hard work that you did this year.